Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Spartan Dome in North Fargo for tonight's Your Live Events feature of EDC Girls Basketball. I'm Dan Gunnarsson getting you ready for West Fargo, the Packers taking on the Fargo North Spartans. It is going to be one heck of an EDC matchup as the Packers come in with a 6-5 record overall, but 3-1 in EDC play. In fact, they've won their last 3 games up to this point. Meanwhile, Fargo North, an unblemished record at 11-0 overall, 4-0 in EDC play, but this looks to be one of the better matchups that they've had so far this season. A West Fargo team that last year took third in state, won 30 games overall, but returning just a mere 3 contributors from last year's state qualifying team, going through some growing pains to begin the year, but now are ready for a test in the Spartan Dome. We're going to go through some stats, look at those lineups, give you an idea of what to expect in tonight's contest. All of that coming up as you are watching EDC Girls Basketball on your live event.
If you want help from a firm that has integrity and respect, strives for excellence, and is interested in the betterment of the community, look no farther than Onstead Twitchell Attorneys. Our team of attorneys has dedicated and talented professionals who are committed to improving the lives of their clients and providing custom legal solutions with integrity and excellence. We have offices in West Fargo, Hillsborough, Natick, Page, and Castleton. Or view our website, www.onsteadlaw.com.
Buying a new home, but worried about the interest rate and terms from your bank? At First Class Mortgage, we'll find a mortgage that fits your needs. Shopping national banks and other lenders for the lowest rate and most affordable terms. Saving you time and money. So all you need to worry about is enjoying your new home. First Class Mortgage. Our expertise, your peace of mind. Put an expert to work for you. Call today.
Back at the Spartan Dome, your live event. Broadcasting EDC Girls Volleyball between the West Fargo Packers and the Fargo North Spartans. Before we get into some things to watch for in tonight's contest, want to just give a quick shout out to our sponsors. Without them, wouldn't be possible to bring you EDC Volleyball, Region 1 Girls Basketball, and all the other events that your live event brings you. American Family Insurance will be bringing you your lineups tonight, along with First Class Mortgage with your in-between set recaps, Tommy's Express Car Wash for your post-game recap, and then your Energy Player of the Game brought to you by Enbridge, and your Feature Precision Player of the Game brought to you by RDK Enterprises. Dan Gunnarsson with you, getting you ready for tonight's EDC Girls Volleyball matchup. And just a couple of notes for tonight's game. Some players to watch out for, some things to watch for when it comes to the trends for tonight. We start with the away team, the West Fargo Packers, 3-1 in the EDC, 6-5 overall, coached by Kelsey Titus in her first year as head coach for the West Fargo Packers. It was a bit of a kind of mix and match as they did the cross-state volleyball match to begin the season, trying to figure out who they were as a team. They were without Riley Gassetti, one of their senior outside hitters for the beginning portion of the season due to a broken nose. Expect her back in the lineup, and Coach Titus talking with her before tonight's game, said that should help at least settle things down rotationally. And really in the last 3 games, West Fargo has done a good job of settling things down. They've won the last 3 straight games and, in fact, haven't lost a set in those 3 games. Also this year, they've had an opportunity to take on some of the top teams in the state. They've lost to both Bismarck Century, the number 1 ranked team, or I should say the number 2 ranked team in the state for Class A volleyball, and West Fargo Cheyenne, last year's state champion, and so far number 1 team in the state of North Dakota. Lost to both of those teams. They have a younger roster. with 3 seniors and 5 juniors on their team. In fact, we're going to see some freshmen and sophomores get an opportunity to play, Olivia Peterson being one of them, and Raina Wiakowski, one of the freshmen who comes from a very talented family of volleyball players in her own right, will see the floor as well. But one person that we're going to have to make sure and pay attention to for this team is Olivia Soni. So far this year, Olivia has 295 assists. She averages almost 8.5 assists per set. But even more impressive than that, she is only 18 assists away from 2,000 career assists to date. That is a pretty impressive record. We're going to be watching out for that as she wears the number 28 for the West Fargo Packers. We already talked about Wiakowski. She leads the team with 202 digs and 20 aces so far this year offensively. Ali Halverson leads the team with 87 kills, but Olivia Peterson has 76, while Grace Weary and Ellie McIntosh both have 62 kills so far this year for the green and white. West Fargo as well, with that 3-1 EDC record, comes in a game out of second place. The team that they're chasing, Fargo North, with that 4-0 EDC record. We'll talk a little bit more about them when we come back. You're watching EDC Girls Volleyball on your live event.
As an American Family Agent, I look out for what matters to you, even when nothing's wrong. This is Chris Heisey. Visit me online at chrisheisey.com. These days, everyone wants to save money. I can show you how easy it is by having multiple policies. By combining your auto and homeowner's insurance, I can put some change back into your pocket. My website again is chrisheisey.com. I want to be your American Family Agent.
American Family Insurance.
Back at the Spartan Dome for EDC Girls Volleyball, West Fargo, the road team. Covered a little bit about them in our previous segment. Now let's talk a little bit about the Fargo North Spartans. Probably one of the more surprising teams, not only in the EDC, but all of the state of North Dakota, ranked 3rd in state with an 11-0 record, 4-0 in the EDC. In fact, it has been so good for Rachel Hummel and her team in her second year at the helm that they've only lost 4 sets. Forget games, they've only lost 4 sets so far this season. In fact, the last 3 games, they are 3-0 without losing a set in those games. Now, that 4-0 EDC record does come with a little bit of a caveat. 3 of those 4 wins come against 3 of the teams still trying to figure things out in Grand Forks, Red River, Devils Lake, and Wahpeton. Combined record in the EDC for those 3 teams, 1-12. But that doesn't mean to discredit what Fargo North has done, because they haven't struggled with anybody so far this year. They're behind Bismarck Century and West Fargo Cheyenne in the state rankings, and 6 seniors on their team along with the 4 juniors is a big reason why West Fargo is here. Talking to Coach Hummel before the game, she says taking it a game at a time has been extremely important, not to get lost in the fact that they have been doing so well to begin this year. But now comes some real test. Now comes some real challenges. Teams with some experience, teams that have felt success, and it starts tonight with West Fargo. Some of these players to watch tonight for West Fargo, or I should say for Fargo North. We start with Evie Berg. Why? Well, she leads the team in service aces with 32 and digs with 179. Setting up the killers on the outside is going to be Betsy Schiltz. She leads the team with 250 assists so far this year. Regan Carlson leads the team with 80 kills. Behind her is Audrey Rydell, who has 60, and then Hayden Tollefson, who has 51. Defensively at the front, we're going to be hearing a lot about Anna Nelson and her team leading 15 blocks. Fundamentally speaking, Fargo North has been extremely solid. Only 14 violations to speak of so far. And I talked about Evie Berg and her ability to get those aces when it comes to serving. Her serve percentage, pardon me, so far to this point, 87%. Now, to put that into kind of context, she attempts about 16 serves per set, or somewhere around 48 to 50 serves a game. And she's connecting on nearly 90% of those serves, which means as a team defensively, West Fargo has to be prepared for Evie to be delivering on some really good serves. Fundamentally themselves, they have to be set and ready. Evie, only a junior, wearing number 11. She is one of the players for Fargo North that we're going to be keeping our eye on tonight. When we come back, we'll get a chance to go through those American Family Insurance lineups. We'll also give you an idea of what else is to come out there in EDC matchups, as there is a full slate tonight of EDC games. You're watching EDC Girls Volleyball on your live event.
This is Chris Brecken from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to our growers. Your trust and fellowship is the driving force behind our dedication to your successful farming operation. We continue to invest in the education of our team to ensure your customer experience is outstanding. Thank you for the opportunity to be your planter experts. Stop by either of our locations in Hillsboro or Drayton, North Dakota, or visit planterdoc.com.
Off on some smaller projects to get me worked up to some of the bigger things built around here.
The atmosphere in the shop is very, very team-based, which is great.
It's really cool to see the beginning and end product.
So it's very satisfying to build something that you know people are really going to appreciate.
My name is Jared, born and raised in Minnesota, and I'm a project director at Enbridge. Enbridge is more than a pipeline company. It's a company participating in renewable energy projects in Minnesota and abroad, and I'm really proud to be working here.
We believe a cleaner energy future is achievable. For over 20 years, we've been early adopters of renewable energy, and we're proudly committed to net zero emissions by 2050. To hear more from Jared, visit enbridge.com/Jared. That's JERRID.
Welcome back to your live events broadcast of EDC Girls Volleyball as they strike up the school fight songs minutes away from our opening serve between the Fargo North Spartans, who are playing host to the West Fargo Packers. Your live event, of course, not just broadcasting volleyball in North Fargo. We also have Kindred versus Northern Cass tonight, along with Tri-State taking on Lisbon. Elsewhere in EDC volleyball matchups tonight, you've got Fargo Davies at Shanley. Those two teams both at 3-1 in EDC play, tied in that third place slot with the West Fargo Packers. Out in Valley City, the Bruins of Fargo South are traveling. Fargo South and Valley City both sit at 2-2 in EDC play, while Fargo South at 7-4 overall. That overall record a little bit better than Valley City's. Grand Forks Red River is out in West Fargo taking on Horace tonight. You also have Devils Lake taking on West Fargo Cheyenne, one of the top two teams in the state of North Dakota. And rounding things out, you have Breckenridge taking on Wahpeton, a non-EDC matchup, but there's a rivalry there, obviously, based on location for those two schools. The Spartans getting things ready. The home team going to go through the roster for both teams quickly, and really specifically who we might be looking at in terms of seeing some action tonight. For West Fargo, you'll see sophomore Olivia Peterson, freshmen's Raina Viakowski and Ellie McIntosh. Juniors that'll see the floor will be Grace Weary, Kira Zapata, and Aubrey Finn. Along with the seniors out there, you'll have Allie Halverson, Olivia Soni, and of course Riley Gasecki. And Gasecki coming back from a broken nose, and a player that hasn't had a lot of playing time so far this year. In fact, just 7 sets in all with 16 kills, but one of the better outside hitters for the team, and someone that Coach Kelsey Titus is expecting to help create some stability for the Packers roster and rotationally. For Fargo North, a little bit more of a senior-laden team, although we will see freshman Audrey Rydell and a sophomore Soli Berg. Junior-wise, you've got Evie Berg, Anna Nelson, Ambry Hansen, and Betsy Schiltz. Senior-wise, though, look for Hayden Tollefson, Regan Carlson, and senior Grace Holm. Olivia Lockwood, Emma Ogier, and Vanessa Gasecki also rounding out that roster as well. But Fargo North, Coach Hummel and her team with that 11-0 record. We talked about it a little bit in that pregame, but just the opportunity to have a team that they feel matches up with them very well athletically. You know, talking to Coach Titus from West Fargo before the game, she said defensively we have to be very sound. We've got to be in good positions, because otherwise West Fargo, who has the size, or I should say Fargo North, who has the size advantage on West Fargo, could have the ability to put them out quickly with some offensive deluges, just really get into some rallies and really get things going for the Spartans, who it's been a great start so far this year. Would love to see that momentum continue as they look to move on. Of course, there will be some more volleyball games throughout the week. We're going to shift more to the Class B things when we get into Thursday for your live event. Specifically, we'll be out in Tower City with Enderlin taking on Maple River. I'll have the opportunity to call that game. You also have Drayton Valley Edinburgh taking on Thompson. In the Minnesota side of things, you'll see Staples Motley taking on Atkin. You'll have Warren versus Climax Fisher, and DGF taking on Hawley. Central Cass versus Northern Cass. The lone EDC matchup on your live event coming up on Thursday this week will be the Shanley taking on Fargo South. Well, that's going to do it for our pregame. When we come back, we will have that American Family Insurance starting lineups specifically, and the first serve for tonight's matchup between the West Fargo Packers and the Fargo North Spartans. You're watching EDC Volleyball on your live event.
Kate's Kennels, located in Castleton, North Dakota. We offer boarding for all of your furry companions. Whether you're going on vacation or you have an emergency, we are here for you. We know they are a member of your family, and we will treat them as if they were one of our own. Kennel tours are always welcome. Check us out on Facebook at Kate's Kennels or visit our website at kateskennels.com. Give us a call at 701-347-4176 for all your furry friend boarding needs.
Fact. High schools need every sports official they can find. Want to ensure that kids keep playing? Become an official and a leader. Over 25,000 North Dakota student athletes participate in statewide school-sponsored sports programs. Sports provide students with real-time training for real life.
commitment to academic excellence has resulted in a confident tradition of student success. Students graduate from Park Christian School strong in their faith and well prepared for the rigors of college, career, and relationships. Call 218-236-0500 to schedule your visit or go online to parkchristianschool.org.
Let's get real. You're ready for a place that's big enough to grow and small enough to care. So get ready for the University of Minnesota Crookston. With more than 30 majors, minors, and certificates, you'll earn a University of Minnesota degree in a close-knit community where faculty become friends and friends feel like family. And to get a degree that can make a difference, you don't need a big city, just big dreams. The University of Minnesota Crookston. Real, hands-on, ready.
It's really cool to see the beginning and end product.
So it's very satisfying to build something that you know people are really going to appreciate.
We make products that last decades. Being able to stand behind our products and having something that is so known for that is awesome.
Stay up to date with the latest goings-on in the region with the Coaches Show every Wednesday night on YourLiveEvent.com.
Goes deep down the middle, has a man, Soka Porter! Soka Porter to the 20, to the 10, to the 5, and taken down there.
We'll dive into the latest stories from North Dakota and Minnesota.
And there's the block by Reese.
That's the Coaches Show with me, Joe Lancello, on YourLiveEvent.com every Wednesday night starting at 7.
Welcome back to the Spartan Dome for tonight's EDC girls volleyball matchup between the West Fargo Packers and the Fargo North Spartans. Let's get into the American Family Insurance lineups. American Family Insurance with Chris Heisey.
Middle hitter, number 17, Emma Ostrier. And now the starters for your Spartans. 5'8" junior center, number 3. Betsy Schultz.
Chris Heisey, his team is here to serve and help meet your insurance requests from home, auto, commercial, or farm and ranch. Additionally, as residents of your community, they understand how important it is to be there for you. Chris Heisey Agency with American Family Insurance. For more information, go online to chrisheisey.com. For the road team, the West Fargo Packers, they will start like this. Sophomore Olivia Peterson, freshman Rihanna Viakowski, along with freshman Ellie McIntosh. They'll have senior Allie Halverson, junior Grace Weary, senior Olivia Soni, and senior Riley Gassetti. West Fargo is coached by Kelsey Titus and comes in with an overall record of 6-5 overall and 3-1 in EDC play. For the home team on the scoreboard, the Fargo North Spartans. They are coached by Rachel Hummel in her second year as the head coach. They come in with 11-0 record and 4-0 in the EDC. They will go like this. They'll have junior Betsy Schultz, sophomore Soli Berg, freshman Audrey Rydell, juniors Ambry Hansen, junior Anna Nelson, and junior Eva Berg, along with senior Hayden Tollefson. Both teams giving each other the traditional handshake before the game, and things will get ready to go. Again, thank you to our lineup sponsor, American Family Insurance. Again, check out Chris Heisey's team with American Family Insurance. For more information, go online to chrisheisey.com. Both teams getting ready. It should be a fun atmosphere for tonight's EDC matchup. Many other games going on around the EDC schedule, but we're going to keep you focused and ready to go for tonight's game between West Fargo and Fargo North. Both liberos looking to get in for their teams. It'll be Allie Halverson, the libero for Fargo North, while on, I should say, that is Evie Berg for Fargo North, the libero, and then it is Wiakowski, the libero for West Fargo, as both check in for either team, and we are getting set to go. Fargo North will start with the serve, and it'll be Betsy Schultz to start things out. Serve is up as she throws in that left hand, returned by West Fargo on the outside. A little bump serve, dug out nicely by Fargo North. Right side, take it out there by Hayden Tollefson, returned and dug out by West Fargo. A long serve, or I should say spike out of bounds from Allie Halverson. The point will go to Fargo North. Well, actually, they're going to say it was a tip ball, so West Fargo will actually get that point. And they will take a 1-0 lead. So back to serve will be Allie Halverson, who ended up getting that kill for the Packers. Serve is up and dug out by Evie Berg. Set up on the right side, spike comes down, it's dug out by Fargo North. That's Soliberg with the block on the left side of West Fargo, struggling trying to return it, and we're going to get a point for Fargo North as West Fargo ended up with a lift. So it is now 1-1. This set is tied. Couple of rotations here for Fargo North as they are going to bring in Grace Holm and Regan Carlson, and Holm will actually serve for the Spartans. 1-1 our score early on, first set. Holmes up, dug out nicely by Wiakowski, set up in the middle, but blocked by Fargo North back at West Fargo as they try to put it over, but dug out nicely by Berg, who puts it into the back row. On the outside corner, it's Carlson, go for the kill. Dug out nicely by the back row by West Fargo, and it'll be sent over by Peterson. Set up by Holm, top, middle, shot, long. Anna Nelson going for the kill, just sent that one a little bit too deep, and it'll be a point for West Fargo. Wiakowski now in the back row, the freshman, serving for her team. And it is bumped towards the net, but unsuccessfully in so doing so is Carlson, the 6-foot outside hitter. So a nice serve for Wiakowski, who came into this leading her team with 20 aces so far this year. Add one to that list as Fargo South will go for the kill. And again, I should say Fargo North. Anna Nelson, just a little bit out of sorts right there. Puts it into the net, and West Fargo has put together 3 quick points and holds a 4-1 lead. Wiakowski. Lob serve, dug out back row, and just a scramble drill finally put over by Berg. Dug out by West Fargo. They're going to set things up on the outside. A hit and in. Great kill on the outside by Gassetti, wearing the mask as she comes back from the broken nose. Does not hinder her ability on the outside to get the kill. Make it 5-1 for West Fargo with Wiakowski still serving. Back row dugout by Fargo North as they bump set one to the outside. Nice spike by Carlson, but West Fargo is prepared. A little bump serve over by Gassetti. Set up by Berg on the outside, put over by Berg. That's Soliberg trying to go for the kill as Evie tries to dig out a return by West Fargo and can't handle it. West Fargo with some solid play so far. That's 5 straight points for the Packers as they hold a solid 6-1 lead in set 1 here of this EDC matchup. Wiakowski, again, holding serve. Puts us one near side deep, dug out nicely by Fargo North, outside to Carlson. That one dug out by Wiakowski, set up, middle shot. West Fargo gets the point. There is Mikitosh, the freshman 5'10" middle hitter. And another point for West Fargo. We talked about this before the game. Fargo North hasn't really seen a lot of adversity this year. In fact, they've only lost 3 sets to this point, but Wiakowski trying to make it number 4 as West Fargo has taken a commanding 8-1 lead early on in set number 1. Wiakowski with a couple of aces. Great job defensively by the Packers. And Coach Hummel for Fargo North needs a timeout to talk things over. We'll keep it right here while Fargo North tries to collect things here in this first set. Again, going back 11-0 coming into this game. Fargo North 4-0 in EDC play. Up until this point, they had only lost 4 sets so far in 2022. That's it, 4 sets. But West Fargo coming in, they've played extremely well in their last 3 games, haven't lost a set in their last 3 games. A lot of confidence, a lot of talent on this team, a team that took 3rd place in state last year. And now with the freshman in Wiakowski doing a phenomenal job of serving, has the Packers up 8-1 as we come out of that timeout. Wiakowski. Jump serve is over to the left side, dug out by Carlson. Bump set, and it'll be Evie Berg to get it over. Gets it to the back row, or Wiakowski gives it to Sony, and it's pushed over nicely by McIntosh, but Fargo North there to push it back. Wiakowski gets West Fargo into the set. We're going to say it is out, but I believe it was tipped. Yes, tip on Fargo North, although it went out onto the back line, and West Fargo, yet another point, 9-1 Packers. Looked like it was possibly touched on that outside by Anna Nelson, the junior 5'11 middle hitter, playing a little bit of outside spot for Fargo North as they rotate on the Wiakowski serve. This one set up over to Soliberg, who gets it back. Back row, Wiakowski. Sony goes left side, near side. Barely tipped over by Peterson. North scramble drill gets it. Sony middle, pushed over. Great save by Berg, but cannot be handled by Carlson, and another point for West Fargo. Great job by Peterson in the middle just to do a nice little touch serve, or I should say McIntosh in the middle with a nice little touch serve. The freshman at 5'10 doing a good job of getting the point for West Fargo. Now leads 10-1. Wiakowski gets it over. Set up, no, nice push, no. Best job by McIntosh to get it back over. This one a deep set, bumped up by Halverson. Set up on the outside by Gassetti. Can't find it as Berg digs it out. Back row pushed over by Grace Holm. West Fargo will get set. Going middle. McIntosh kind of tipped off her fingers, but it gets over. Nice dig by Evie Berg. And again, back row spike by Holm. And then going outside. This time to Gassetti, who was blocked, but blocked out of bounds. On the outside, Regan Carlson sent it back, but too far out of bounds, and a point to the to the Packers, who have now racked up 10 straight points. It was 1-1 at one point. But Wiakowski and the Packers still rallying. That one a nice serve, dug out by Holm. Back row going outside. There for the spike was Soliberg, but unable to get it down as Gassetti goes long with it. This one not tipped. Finally, Fargo North with a side out gets back into the point scoring. It's 11-2, but what a rally by the Packers to jump out to that 11-1 lead. Evie Berg will serve. Let's see if she can do what her libero on the other side did for the Spartans as this goes back row. This one set up Sony. Nice job by Berg in that spot to dig it out. Set up, going outside. Gassetti takes that. Berg, spike, digs it out, sends it back. Fargo North, scramble drill. Kind of out of practice, but bringing it back over is Rydell. West Fargo will set up. Long side. Nice job by Peterson just to get it over. Fargo North sends it back. Going back to Peterson on the outside, who finds an open spot in the back right corner for the point. Packers. Kiara Zapata will check in for Gassetti, who did a nice job on that outside, and she will immediately go to that service spot for West Fargo, up 12-2 in this first set. Serve is over, dug out by Holm. North will set it up, pushed over by Audrey Rydell, I should say. Fargo North still retaining possession. Deep set, nice dig by Wiakowski. And then sent over by West Fargo softly. Going outside to Carlson, whose spike is blocked. Fargo North going back at it. This one cannot be pushed over by Rydell, who puts it instead into the net. Point, Packers. Wiakowski with that 10-point service rally, and West Fargo right back at it with Zapata, who puts it over. Dug out by a couple Spartans, and this one will just be Evie Berg trying to put it over from the back row. She does. This one set by Sony. Nice little pushover by Peterson. Not expecting it was Fargo North as Betsy Schultz knocks it out of bounds. Point again, Packers, who lead 14-2. Zepeda with the jump serve. This one is long. Nice call by Regan Carlson in the back row to let that go. It is now 14-3. Fargo North, they need to start putting some points together. They expect to come back into this first set. Back to serve, Soli Berg. Berg's jump set nicely dug out by West Fargo. Middle push, and nice dig by Berg, but it cannot be retained as it goes out of bounds on her bench side. That is Ellie McIntosh with the point and the kill for West Fargo. Serve is out of bounds and air from Olivia Peterson of West Fargo. And we'll get a couple substitutions for the Spartans. We've got Ambry Hansen into the contest, and she goes to the service spot while Hayden Tollefson retains a position at the front of the net. Hansen, 5'2", junior. Nice serve, gets it over. Outside McIntosh is blocked, and then she hits it out of bounds. Good job by Tollefson, who had just come in to get McIntosh's ball back into her face. Ellie couldn't handle it, knocks it out of bounds. Point Fargo North. It is now 15-5 with Hansen still serving. Hansen gets it over. Nice dig by Wiakowski. Set up by Sony. Spike to the back row, but Evie Berg was ready for it. She'll have to put it back over the net with a bump. Wiakowski over to Sony. Going middle. Nice kill attempt by Halverson, but again, there is Berg. This will be a back row spike by Soli Berg. West Fargo setting it up. Here comes Halverson. This one off the blockers of Fargo North. They scramble, but Evie Berg will get it over. This little back and forth between the Spartans and the Packers. This one set up Sony. McIntosh is blocked, but she's blocked out of bounds by Tollefson and Rydell. Point West Fargo. We had mentioned it before the broadcast, but something to watch for with the Packers. Olivia Sony was 18 assists away from 2,000 assists so far on her career. Something to watch for as the serve from McIntosh, unable to be handled by Ambry Hansen. Point West Fargo, service ace for McIntosh. The freshman, 5'10", middle hitter. Serve again. This one's going to be long. So kill, then air. I should say ace, then air. And point goes to Fargo North. As checking in will be Anna Nelson. And checking out will be Evie Berg, the do-it-all Fargo North junior. And serving, getting it over nicely. Fargo North's Aubrey Rydell as they scramble to get the ball pushed over, and we're going to get a point for West Fargo, as I believe we had a double hit. Yes, we did, for Fargo North. Rydell out, Evie Berg in. West Fargo point, 18-6 for the Packers. It's been all Packers in this first set. Sony back to serve. She gets it over. West Fargo, or I should say Fargo North, setting it up. Outside attempt coming that way by Anna Nelson. Dug out by West Fargo. There is Gassetti. Pushed back in by Fargo North. Schultz going outside. Great kill on the outside by Hayden Tollefson. Boy, Fargo North needs more of that offense from their front line. And let's hope, if for their sake, they can find some rallies here. Down 11 at 18-7. To serve, Betsy Schultz. Lefty serve. Puts it over in the air. Wiakowski, nice job. Sony going to Gassetti, who will push it over. Dug out nicely by Fargo North. Again, they'll go bump, kill. No, it'll just be pushed over by Tollefson. Kind of got out of position there. Sony middle job. Nice, great job by Fargo North to block. Now going outside. And again a block, but it's out of bounds. Allie Halverson went for the kill. Fargo North double blockers on that outside, but just could not keep it in bounds. And Coach Hummel wants a timeout. We'll take one with her. 19-7 in this first set. West Fargo leading this one over Fargo North. You're watching EDC Girls Volleyball on your live event.
If you want help from a firm that has integrity and respect, strives for excellence, and is interested in the betterment of the community, look no farther than Onset Twitchell Attorneys. Our team of attorneys has dedicated and talented professionals who are committed to improving the lives of their clients and providing custom legal solutions with integrity and excellence. We have offices in West Fargo, Hillsborough, Natick, Page, and Castleton. Or view our website, www.onstedlaw.com.
Back here at the Spartan Dome, Dan Gunnarsson with you. Fargo North, a team that came in 11-0 overall, 4-0 in EDC play. It only lost 4 sets so far this year. Finds himself in a gigantic hole in this first set against West Fargo, down 19-7. Allie Halverson serving for the Packers. Jump serve, she gets it, but it is too far, and a service error for West Fargo. Checking in for Fargo North, you have Regan Carlson and Grace Holm. And Grace Holm will go back to serve. If there is any sliver of light, West Fargo has had a couple service aces, or I should say errors so far in this game, and Fargo North needs to find some momentum as we come towards the end of this one. As West Fargo gets over to Fargo North. Oh, what a beautiful job by the setter. Betsy Schultz with a great job sending it over the net for the point for Fargo North. Holm with the serve. Dug out on the outside by Peterson. Set up by Sony. They'll go back row bump. Evie Berg back in at the libero position. Set up again by Schultz to the outside. And a kill by Regan Carlson. That second time out by Coach Hummel. Wanted to see if Fargo North could get back into some kind of routine, some momentum, and fundamentally speaking, they have in these last 3 points as Grace Holmes serve, goes back row, Sony sets it up, goes outside to Peterson. That ball goes through blockers of Nelson and Soli Berg. Down for the point for the Packers. Peterson, point, 20-10. Viakowski to serve. As Grace Weary will take a seat. Ball gets over. Dug out nicely on the outside. They'll go middle, push, kill, attempt by Soli Berg. Dug out by West Fargo, then quickly set back. Schultz outside. Great job again by Carlson. Regan Carlson is a name that we have started to call a little bit more in these last few points for Fargo North, as Betsy Schultz has gone over to her a couple times. It's 20-11 with Evie Berg to serve. That's a nice deep serve. Dug out by Halverson. High bump, and it'll be a push kill. Nice jump attempt. Fargo North scrambling as bodies are on the ground, but they get it back over. Sony, middle, McIntosh, blocked but out of bounds. Rydell Carlson there for the double block attempt. But again, we've seen that 3 or 4 times where the blockers have been where they should be for Fargo North, but unfortunately they just can't get any control on that ball. It's going out of bounds quite often. I've counted at least 3 so far in this set, and it's to the advantage of the Packers, who are up 21-11, make it 21-12 as a service error by Kira Zapata. That one goes long. We've seen quite a few of those from West Fargo tonight. 3 or 4 by my account, and Fargo North has taken advantage of it. Soli Berg back to serve. The sophomore goes back row, dug out. Sony's going to bump set it over to Peterson, who gets it to an out of position Carlson, backing up from that far side outside position, and Peterson read it correctly. Carlson not prepared to dig the ball out, goes off or out of bounds, point to West Fargo. Peterson will serve, and that one dug out in the back row, too far by Soli Berg, and another point for West Fargo. So we talked about the service errors for West Fargo. They've also had quite a few service aces for the Packers tonight, who lead 23-12 in this first set. Again, Peterson gets it over. Evie Berg puts it right back to McIntosh, who gets it to Sony. Going outside, this one hit off the blockers as Allie Halverson couldn't get the point. Fargo North just sends it back over. Sony to McIntosh, middle hit, kill, point Packers. McIntosh, solid first set from the middle. The freshman, 5'10", one of the taller players on the roster for the Packers. And it's set point here as this one is dug out in the back row by Holm. Set up by Schultz. Going Carlson for the kill, got it in! Beautiful kill by Carlson as she went deep corner on the near side in front of the West Fargo bench for the point. Spartans not done yet. Ambry Hansen, Hayden Tollefson check in. Hansen to serve. Holman Carlson check out. Hansen trying to keep the Spartans alive, down 24-13, gets it over. Dug out in the back row, set up by Sony. Going outside for Halverson, but it's dug out by Fargo North. Schultz will set it up, going to Tollefson, who gets it over for the point. Spartans had a couple blockers on the outside there by West Fargo, but Tollefson with enough strength to get it through him and in. Fargo North down 10, but they're trying to find a little bit of momentum in this set. Just one side out will get West Fargo the win. McIntosh tried to get it there, couldn't. West Fargo, back row kill, tipped, dug out by Wiakowski. Sony will set it up, going to Halverson for the kill. Nice job by Evie Berg. Set up by Schultz, going to Tollefson on the outside. She goes deep. Wiakowski with a dig. Set up by Sony. Going outside again, Halverson. Back row dug out by Hansen. Going deep, it'll be Tollefson who just has to push it over. Sony looking for that assist. McIntosh going for the kill, can't get it. Dug out nicely by West Fargo. Fargo North sets it right back. Sony going back outside. Halverson, that blop, set up. Nice job as Evie Berg will go outside to Tollefson. Again, go for the kill. That's blocked by West Fargo. What a rally. Go back and forth, but we have the point Spartans as we had a fault on West Fargo. The Spartans in all of that back and forth get the point. 24-15, felt like that one should have been worth at least 5 as this serve goes deep from Rydell. Dug out in the back row by Zapata. There's a kill by Halverson attempt. Evie Berg, nice job. Nice little pushover by Schultz, but they're going to call the lift. Nope, double hit, I apologize. Schultz can't believe it, so she's gonna ask for an explanation from the referee. Schultz doesn't exactly agree with that, neither does Coach Hummel, but it won't matter. The set win to West Fargo, and Fargo North loses just their 5th set of the season and finds themselves down 1-0 here at the Spartan Dome. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will have our First Class Mortgage first set recap. You're listening and watching EDC Volleyball on your live event.
Buying a new home, but worried about the interest rate and terms from your bank? At First Class Mortgage, we'll find a mortgage that fits your needs. Shopping national banks and other lenders for the lowest rate and most affordable terms. Saving you time and money. So all you need to worry about is enjoying your new home. First Class Mortgage. Our expertise, your peace of mind. Put an expert to work for you. Call today.
Back here at the Spartan Dome on your live event, let's get to that first set recap brought to you by First Class Mortgage. And really, it happened early on for the Packers. Raina Wiakowski, the freshman with a ton of talent, getting a great rally going for the Packers, had 10 straight points, tied at 1 apiece. West Fargo, in a blink of an eye, was up 11-1. And while the Spartans played much better following that, they just weren't able to recover from the onslaught of points from the Packers. And that was really the biggest highlight from that first set. And a little bit of a recap brought to you by First Class Mortgage. First Class Mortgage, they're more than just our company name. It's the way we do business. Whether you're buying a new home or refinancing your existing mortgage, our dedicated team takes the time to understand your financial situation. We provide first-class service, first-class knowledge, and a first-class experience at the lowest interest rates. For more information, go online to firstclassmortgage.com. Or I should say go online to firstclasscorp.com. First Class Mortgage, they'll be bringing us our set recaps all game long. Thank you very much to them for sponsoring this game, along with the other sponsors who make it possible for us to bring you EDC Girls Volleyball from the Spartan Dome in North Fargo. Dan Gunderson with you today. should say tonight, for a wonderful EDC matchup between these two very talented teams in the Spartans and the Packers. So it'll be West Fargo serve to start. And back to serve will be Olivia Soni. Fargo North looking to clean things up as Evie Berg bumps to the beginning. Schultz with a nice setup for the kill attempt from Rydell. West Fargo handles it and delivers. Bringing it back is Allie Halverson with the kill at a point for West Fargo. Soni, solid server in her own right, goes deep, dug out by Carlson, set up by Schultz, going outside, tip blocks, kill on the Soli Berg attempt. They'll go to Gassetti, who goes back row, Evie Berg, bumps that up. Schultz will go over to the other side, waiting for it was Carlson. She just has to bump it over. Soni will go middle attempt. That one dug out nicely by Holm in the back row. This time Evie Berg will have to send it over. West Fargo there. Halverson going for the kill attempt. Back row dug out by Holm. Bumped up by Schultz. Going outside to Carlson. Goes right at Halverson, who's ready. Bumped up. Halverson will just have to push it over. Nice job by Holm to get it over to the back row, but she sent it too far to the net, and unable to handle it was Schultz, and a point for West Fargo. So again, West Fargo finding points in their serve, holding serve, as Soni puts it over. Dug out by Holmes, set up by Schultz. Middle attempt, and finding Rydell. She found the gymnasium floor and the point for Fargo North. So a side out, not a long volley for the Packers as this serve goes into the net from Soli Berg, and West Fargo back into serving. Serving errors, serving aces, something to watch for in this second set, in large part because West Fargo had a lot of both in that first set. Fargo North, known for their service aces, didn't have a ton in that first set, maybe one, as Evie Berg digs out the serve from Halverson. Ball pushed around and then sent over by Rydell. West Fargo has to do the same, but they get to the outside and set up a kill attempt, and we're going to get a point as we have a violation by Betsy Schultz. Looked like a net violation by Betsy. Betsy's got some questions for the referees on those, and something to note, only 14 violations coming in for Fargo North coming into this game, but they've had a few so far in this contest. Halverson with a nice serve going middle. This one hit deep by Rydell. Dug out nicely by Wiakowski. Going to the near side of Peterson. But we're going to get a lift as that one hung on the top of the net, and then a lift from Fargo North and a point for West Fargo. So just some uncharacteristic errors for the Spartans right now. And Olivia Peterson's kill wasn't that clean, as that's a nice serve by Halverson. Dug out nicely, going outside to Carlson, who has to push it over. Dug out by Soni. Wiakowski's got to set it up for Gassetti on the outside, and that one falls in between Holm and Soli Berg. And another point for West Fargo, and don't look now, it's 6-1 Packers. This is some adversity that the Spartans have not faced all year, and West Fargo is attacking, being very aggressive. A lot of confidence as this one eats up Evie Berg, but nice job to regain composure by Fargo North as they set it over. Soni going outside to Peterson. This one blocked, dug out. Schultz will go back row to Berg, who sends a nice kill to the back row. Halverson, I don't think, was expecting Berg to have such power behind that one from her libero position. Gets the point for Fargo North as we get a couple new substitutes. It's going to be Hansen and Tollefson checking in for the Spartans, who trail 6-2. Hansen to serve. Gets it over deep. Wiakowski to Soni, who will set it up, going middle. Tip, kill. Beautiful job as Grace Weary. Really haven't called her name much in that first set, but she gets into the action there on that one, and then immediately comes out and replaces her as Ellie Mikitosh. 7-2, your score, West Fargo. And that right there, based on the reaction from West Fargo, was assist number 2,000 for Olivia Soni, as the crowd reacts with a standing ovation from both the away and home crowd. Her bench erupts in celebration, and a nice little moment for the senior setter for the Packers, who now lead 7-2 over Fargo North and have an opportunity to make it 8-2 as they go to the outside. Gassetti pushes it over and off the arms of Hayden Tollefson. Point Packers. Timeout, Coach Hummel. For Fargo North, will take one with her. She's searching. Her team is searching for the answers. Packers lead Spartans 8-2. You're watching girls volleyball on your live event.
As an American family agent, I look out for what matters to you, even when nothing's wrong. This is Chris Heisey. Visit me online at chrisheisey.com. These days, everyone wants to save money. I can show you how easy it is by having multiple policies. By combining your auto and homeowner's insurance, I can put some change back into your pocket. My website again is chrisheisey.com. I want to be your American family agent.
American family.
Back here at the Spartan Dome, Fargo North taking on West Fargo, down 8-2 in this set and 1-0 in this match. Something pointed out by our cameraman, Jake W. Fargo North at one point this year playing Fargo South early on, in fact, in EDC play, down 2-0 and came all the way back to win that one 3-2. And they're going to have to find whatever they had in that one to come back against West Fargo. Puts it over. Fargo North going to the outside. Tollefson can't get it through the double blocks of West Fargo. And a point again for the Packers, who have been all over the court tonight. And now lead it 9-2 with Wiakowski serving. Soft serve over, dug out by Berg. Schiltz will just try to push it over, but there, in preparation for that attempt, was both Peterson and McIntosh for West Fargo, and the block back, point Packers. They were in a great position. That is fundamental volleyball, being ready for anything. This one gets over, nice dig out on the outside by Hansen, sent over by Tollefson. Sony to Gassetti on the outside, who sends it back, rolling in. Right by the outstretched arms of Ambry Hansen. It's 11-2 West Fargo. Now, I was not at the South versus North game. I don't know if those first two set victories by the Bruins was as commanding as we have seen so far by the Packers tonight. But the Packers at one point 11-1 in the first set have a chance to go up 12-2 in the second as Tollefson sends one back row, dug out by Wiakowski. Sent over to the right side. Peterson, that one is knocked back into West Fargo's possession. Peterson will try again with the push, but there's Tollefson. Schiltz, middle to Rydell, pushes it over. McIntosh will get it over to Gassetti. Outside, cannot hit it over the net. Instead, into the net. Point for Fargo North. This is the nice part about rally scoring, where you have the opportunity, could go up 10, but instead you go up 8 with a switch of points. And Fargo North needs to put a little bit of a rally together of their own. Serving now is Rydell, who gets it over. Nice job digging it out by Halverson. Almost too far to the net, and it is too far to the net. Halverson almost had teammate Sony make an incredible save, but Halverson sent it too close to the net, went underneath as Sony tried to send it back, but the point goes to the Spartans. 11-4, they still trail. Sony this time has the opportunity to give it to McIntosh, who is blocked, but it's dug out nicely by Wiakowski, and unable to get it back over is Anna Nelson, and the point goes to West Fargo, and the freshman Wiakowski showing why she has such a bright future in this game for the Packers, able to dig that ball out and send it over. And Anna Nelson unable to get it back for Fargo North as Zapata sends it over. Dug out by Evie Berg, set up by Schiltz on the outside to Tollefson, who pushes it over to Halverson. Sony, middle, McIntosh, tipped, dug. Fargo North, Schiltz will set it up, go to the other side there to return Berg. Dug out by Zapata to Sony, but Sony finds the middle of her own side of the net. Unfortunately for the Packers, the point goes to the Spartans. It's 12-5. Schiltz to serve. Jump serve, she's a lefty. Zapata digs it out. Set up by Sony, middle, McIntosh, and in. You had both Anna Nelson and Tollefson there for a double block attempt for the Spartans, but McIntosh, the freshman middle hitter, has had a phenomenal game to this point, has found power in the middle, getting the kill, 13-5 service coming for Peterson as Fargo North will just dump it over. Sony. McIntosh again from the outside. This time she is blocked successfully. Soli Berg joining Hayden Tollefson with the double block and the points for the Spartans, as Regan Carlson and Grace Holm will check on in for the aforementioned Hayden Tollefson along with Ambry Hansen. Fargo North 8 to 9 deep when it comes to the rotation that they will bring in. As Holm sends this one, Zepeda unable to dig it out. Great serve by Grace Holm. Boy, Fargo North needed that. A little bit of spark from the Spartans. Holm, she has a very solid serve. Doesn't go up into the air like a lot of players will, but has great control on that one as Zepeda digs it out. Sony will have to just return it back row to Holm. To Schultz. She's going outside to Carlson, who's blocked on the outside. McIntosh and Sony there for the Packers. McIntosh, the freshman, serves to Berg in the back row. Schultz going middle. This one knocked in the air by Zepeda. Returned by Halverson. Great scramble by Berg at the net. Too close to the net. Point, West Fargo. Timeout, Coach Hummel for Fargo North. We'll keep it right here as Coach Hummel will talk to her team using her second timeout with a score at 15-7. In a strategy employed by Coach Hummel in the previous set, she used her final timeout. You get 2 timeouts per set. A little bit later in that first set, really felt like it might have been somewhat out of control or out of reach for Fargo North. But this one, it feels as if Fargo North is slowly finding their footing, but it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back. A lot of aggressiveness and of attacking from the West Fargo Packers squad. Really like what you're seeing from this team overall, especially Ellie McIntosh, the freshman who is serving right now for the Packers. She's done a phenomenal job on the middle when it comes to getting kills for her offense, also helping out with some of those double blocks on the outside as her serve goes over. Dug out by Carlson. Schultz will go to Soliberg, and it is off of Olivia Peterson and out of bounds. Point, Fargo North. Looked like they had Zepeda in the back row as well. And when Peterson hit that ball, she looked behind her, almost to her dismay, to see the back row was occupied. Evie Berg with that jump serve. Great dig out by Peterson over to Halverson. Sony just has to dump it over back to Berg. And this set is, unfortunately, goes too far, but it'll be a Fargo North point, as it looked like Grace Weary might have went too far over the net in trying to return that. Schultz did not do a great job on the set, put it too close to the net. But they are awarded with the point because Grace Weary got too aggressive trying to send it back. Halverson will push to the back row. Grace Holm not in position to return that push kill, and the point goes to West Fargo. They lead by 8, I should say 7, 16-9. Zepeda out, Gassetti in. And back to serve, Olivia Sony. Her earlier in this set got her 2,000th career assist, and that was almost another kill. Ace, I should say, for her on the serve. However, Grace Weary going back row, picking on Grace Holm a little bit right now, are the Packers, as Weary redeems herself with the kill and the point, 17-9 West Fargo. Holm in that back row, along with Carlson, who digs it out too far and sent back by Gassetti. So a point for West Fargo. At one point it was 16-9. In fact, it was 15-9, I should say. But West Fargo has rallied for 3 straight points, has extended that lead 18-9 with Sony still serving. That is a long serve and out of bounds. And no! The back judge says in. So at first glance, he said out and then points the flag to in. So a service ace for Sony, make it 19-9. It almost appeared to be out on the far side. It definitely wasn't too deep, but the point goes to West Fargo all the same as Berg tries to go for the kill. Can't get it. Here comes Halverson for West Fargo. Back row home. She handles it beautifully. Carlson will push it over. Halverson over to Sony. She'll go middle to Weary. Tip and kill. Weary, ever since committing the violation by going too far over the net, has had 3 points in the last 5 for West Fargo and has done a great job in that middle position. Nice little soft serve over. Carlson can't handle it. Schiltz definitely can, and that's a point for West Fargo. And this one out of control at this point as the Packers lead 21-9. Sony, hard serve, too hard in fact as it goes out of bounds. This one is clearly out on the back line. And a point for Fargo North. Spartans. There's Solly Berg to serve. Over, dug out by Halverson, over to Sony, who will go to Gassetti on the near side. This one dug out by Evie Berg. Great job by Aubrey Rydell to push it over, but West Fargo ready. There's Schiltz, who will push it over on the set, but just a great job by West Fargo to scramble, and Halverson, as she was falling out of bounds, tried to send it to the far side, but just had no power behind that kill attempt, and it goes into the net and out of bounds on her side for the point to the Spartans. Berg to serve. Jump serve into the net. Checking in is Ruby Chitty for West Fargo. Aubrey, or I should say, yeah, Ruby Chitty, as Halverson is the serve. Evie Berg to Solly Berg, and then there's bumped over by Carlson. Wiakowski to Sony, middle, Grace Weary, dug out nicely by Solly Berg to Schiltz, outside Carlson, too long. Point Packers, 23-11. Chitty, the 5'7", typically an outside hitter, junior, donning the number 6 for the Packers. Donning number 11 is Allie Halverson with the serve. Gets on Solly Berg pretty quickly, but she's able to handle it. Carlson outside, back to Wiakowski, who digs it out nicely. There's Sony, outside Chitty. Dug out by Holm. Set up, Schilt. Middle attempt, killed by Rydell. Dug out by Wiakowski. Bump set to Chitty. Dug out by Evie Berg, very close to the net. Coming right at it was Grace Weary. In fact, too much on that as she hits it into the net and back into her own side of the floor. Hits the ground, point Spartans down 23-12. And coming in will be Hansen and Tollefson as Holm and Carlson take a seat. Hansen serve, deep, dug out. Sony going outside to Gassetti. Gassetti off of Tollefson and out of bounds. And the point to West Fargo. In fact, it is set point right now with the score 24-12. Up a dozen are the Spartans. And Wiakowski back to serve. Jump serve, dug out in the back row by Berg to Schiltz. Sent deep by Rydell, dug out by Wiakowski to Halverson, and Sony will just have to set it over. Evie Berg to Schiltz. They're going middle to Carlson, or I should say to Rydell, who puts it right on Halverson, unable to handle it, and gets the point for the Spartans. As Evie Berg checks out, Anna Nelson checks in, and back to serve is Audrey Rydell. The lone freshman on the varsity, tall at 6'1", gets it into Chitty, to Halverson, to McIntosh. Bump, set, Tollefson, spike, blocked. Point, set to West Fargo as they take this one 25-13 and go up a commanding 2 sets to nothing. How will Fargo North react when we get into that third set? We'll take a break, and when we come back, we will have a second set recap and get you ready for that third set between West Fargo and Fargo North. You're watching EDC Volleyball on your live event.
This is Chris Brecken from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to our growers. Your trust and fellowship is the driving force behind our dedication to your successful farming operation. We continue to invest in the education of our team to ensure your customer experience is outstanding. Thank you for the opportunity to be your planter experts. Stop by either of our locations in Hillsboro or Drayton, North Dakota, or visit planterdoc.com.
Back here at the Spartan Dome, Dan Gunnarsson with you for EDC Girls Volleyball. The West Fargo Packers leading this game 2-0. Let's get in a First Class Mortgage second set recap. And the game got a little bit out of hand towards the beginning. Yet again, it was 11-2 at one point for West Fargo, but we would be remiss if we didn't bring up Olivia Soni and her 2,000th career assist for the senior setter. Has had a phenomenal career for a Packers team that took third in state last year. And just a really great job by her throughout her career. And so far in this game, she has been a constant, I would say, problem for the Spartans. And really the entire West Fargo team has been a constant problem for the Spartans as they try to figure them out as we get into the third set. That set recap brought to you by First Class Mortgage. And here comes Fargo North. Serving is Betsy Schiltz. She gets it over as Halverson goes long with the kill. Point to Fargo North, and a great way to start for the Spartans. Halverson from the far side getting an opportunity for the kill, but just sent it long. Betsy Schiltz, a southpaw server, gets that nice little rotation, puts it on Wiakowski pretty quickly, and Gassetti's going to have to send it long. Evie Berg gets it. Schiltz with the bump set to Carlson, who puts that one too deep as well. So West Fargo and Fargo North, back-to-back kill attempts, too deep, and we're tied at 1. Back to serve, Allie Halverson. Jump serve, dug out by Soliberg. Schiltz will give it over to Rydell, who puts it into the back right corner, just past an outstretch Wiakowski for the point. 2-1 Fargo North, as now we get the rotation of Ambry Hansen and Hayden Tollefson for Grace Holm and Regan Carlson. Hansen served, dug out by Wiakowski, sent to the net. Sony sends it back to Peterson, who goes back row in between Hansen and Berg for the point. A lot of back and forth early on through the first 4 points of this third set. As Regan Carlson gets up from her spot on her bench, moving closer to the scorers table for Fargo North, as she will get ready to check in shortly as Wiakowski sends that one deep to Berg, going outside Tollefson. She's blocked on the outside by McIntosh and Gassetti. They'll go to the other side. This one pushed over nicely by Soliberg, but dug out by West Fargo. They almost get a point, as that one is dug out in the back row by Hansen and dug out too far, so the point does go to the Packers eventually, as it went out of bounds on the West Fargo side. 3-2 Packers. Wiakowski who in the first set had a 10-point service rally to give West Fargo an 11-1 lead, and this one handled sloppily by Fargo North, but they get it over. Sony going middle. McIntosh, she's been a problem. Almost got the point there. That one dug out by Hansen, going outside to Berg. She's dug out by Wiakowski, going to the Gassetti on the outside. Gassetti off the tip of Tollefson, and then they call a lift on Tollefson as she went for the block and then tried to bump it up, but carrying the ball, and another point for the Packers. 4-2. Commands being shouted out by the Fargo North coaches as Wiakowski sends it over. Dug out by Tollefson. Bounce back by Hansen, and Berg from the back row has to send it over to Halverson, who sends it to Sony. Going to the outside to Peterson. Puts it on Schiltz, who handles it. Berg ends up sending it back. Sony going right back to Peterson, a little bit further away from the net, so she just bumps it over. Evie Berg gets it there. Now it's Tollefson who will get it over to the back row to Wiakowski, over to Sony. She'll go to the middle of McIntosh, who cannot get the kill. No, she does get the kill, as that landed on the Fargo North side. Point Packers. Looked to me like that ended up on West Fargo's side, but the Packers get the point as Wiakowski will send it over. Back row, Berg, last second decision, proves unfortunate. Service ace, Wiakowski. We see in a rerun from the first set. It was 1-1 when Wiakowski took over serving, made it 11-1 before a side out for Fargo North. Had a little just drop serve, dug out by Berg. They're going for the kill on the outside for Rydell, and she gets it. As West Fargo unable to handle it on the back row, Rydell side out. Berg is out, as Anna Nelson will come in to patrol that front line. In the back, it'll be Audrey Nelson. Audrey Rydell, if I can get names correct, to serve, and that one clearly over the net. Halverson, tough time digging it. Gassetti will go back row, where there is Rydell, to Schiltz, to Tollefson. Push spike, I should say, dug out by Sony. Gassetti, outside, off the block attempt of Fargo North's double block attempt, I should say, by Rydell and Tollefson. Side out, West Fargo, point Packers, they lead 7-3. And Zapata, check it in for Gassetti. Will serve. Zapata, jump serve, back row. Tollefson digs it out to Schiltz. She'll go over to the outside to Berg, who goes to Zapata. Sony pushed over by Peterson. Point Packers. 8-3 West Fargo as Peterson quietly has had a really great game. She hasn't had a lot of those energy type kills from the outside that you would expect from, say, McIntosh. But boy, she has done a great job of putting her kills in great position as Zapata's serve goes out of bounds. And Fargo North with the point. Now they can't let this thing get out of hand. They got to stay in this third set, down 8-4. Back to service, Soli Berg. Berg serve, back row, Wiakowski to Sony. She'll go outside to Peterson. Peterson push, dug out by Fargo North. Nice job by Schiltz. That ball bumped too high for her to get into a position to get a set. She went for the kill, got the point. Spartans. Boy, as I think back to this, I don't even know if Fargo North has actually had a lead at any point outside of, say, 1-0 or 2-1. Down 8-5. That one goes out of bounds as Zapata's unable to handle the Soli Berg serve. It's now 8-6. Soli Berg finding some momentum for the Spartans. This one over. Halverson to Sony, going to Peterson on the near side. Peterson to Berg, who digs it out. Sent back by Tollefson, who gets it over. This one blocked beautifully, but out of bounds. There to block it was Schiltz on the Peterson kill attempt, but it goes out of bounds. Point West Fargo. Schiltz was there in great position. And we'll get a timeout on the floor as Schiltz ties up her laces. And joins Anna Nelson and Hayden Tollefson at the front for the serve coming from Peterson. Dug out by Fargo North on the outside. Tollefson push and in. Boy, rare mistake between Wiakowski and Peterson. They weren't entirely sure who was going to try and take that one. So a great job by Fargo North to get the point as home And Carlson will check on in. Holm to serve. Goes back row, dug out by Peterson. Bumped, set by Wiatkowski to Halverson, who goes back row to Evie Berg, who can't handle it. Evie Berg went a little bit further to her left than she expected. Couldn't handle it. And it fell harmlessly on her side of the net for the point for the Packers. It's 10-7. Back to serve, McIntosh. Ellie, the freshman. Up, over. Doug, and here comes an attempt. That one almost too far as Halverson was there for West Fargo. She'll get an attempt for the kill, but dug out in the back row by Soli Berg. Schiltz over to Carlson, who goes for the kill and will get the point as Allie Peterson was unable to handle it. Olivia Peterson, it's to say, in the back row, and the point to the Spartans. Boy, when they get to the outside and get Regan Carlson a clean attempt at a kill, it is set up wonderfully by Fargo North, who has stayed in this set down by 2 at 10-8 as Evie Berg sends that one deep. Peterson, nice dig to Sony, pushed over by Weary. Now pushed back over by Fargo North. They're gonna go outside to Halverson. Her kill attempt blocked. Holm going outside to Carlson. Left hand pushes it over. Boy, the set by Schiltz was too deep, almost into the West Fargo side of the net, but on a last-ditch effort by Carlson, she pushes it over with her left hand, little trickeration. And the Spartans get the point, 10-9, as Evie Berg, nice serve, and it's in! And we are tied at 10 as Evie Berg with the ace. Timeout, Coach Kelsey Titus. And the Packers, you talk about adversity, we'll keep it here, as the Packers facing their own adversity, really the first to date in this game, as this one is tied at 10-10. But we're starting to hear about Evie Berg and her serve. And why is that important to note? Evie came in leading the team with 32 aces. She's also their leader in digs with 179. But those service aces to me stood out as I was preparing for this game. And you see one there. Great pinpoint accuracy from Berg, the junior libero. Or libero. I was told it doesn't matter. Libero sounds fancier. We go with it. As Berg with a hard serve, dug out in the back by Peterson. Sony, nice set to Weary, who gets the kill and the point. Kind of reversed that one as Weary's playing in the middle as Gassetti checks in for Zepeda. And they sent Weary all the way over to the far side. Great setup by Sony. No wonder she has 2,000 assists plus now for her career. Almost got a service ace there. Carlson returns it. Sony will go to Gassetti on the far side. This one tipped up by Carlson. Bump. There goes Schiltz. She tried to return it. Does. West Fargo controls. Pushed over to Holm in the back row. Schiltz. She'll go middle to Rydell, who gets the kill and the point. We're all knotted up again at 11. Back to serve will be Schiltz. Fargo North trying to get back into this one. Lefty serve, nice dig by Wiatkowski in the back row. They go to Weary, who pushes it over. That's dug out by Schiltz, but too deep to the net as Carlson unable to handle it. And West Fargo gets the point. Halverson back to serve. 5'6" outside senior hitter. Great serve. Dug out by Soli Berg. They'll go to the outside as Carlson gets it to the back row to Wiatkowski, who sends it over to Sony. Middle, Weary, and it is out. Point, Fargo North. I was looking for a potential tip there, and I think Coach Titus of West Fargo was as well. That was not the call, as it was a deep kill by Weary out of bounds. Hansen and Tollefson check in, and Hansen will serve. 12-12 our score. Hansen to Peterson, who pushes it over to Sony. She'll go back to Peterson for the outside hit. There is Tollefson to Schiltz. She'll go behind her, push over by Berg. Dug out by Halverson to Sony. Weary middle hit kill. Weary, McIntosh, those two in the middle have been outstanding for the Packers as they get back into the lead at 13-12. Wiakowski serve, dug out by Tollefson. Over to Soliberg, but Wiakowski's there for the dig. They're going to go to Gassetti on the outside. That's tipped. Hansen to Schultz. She'll go middle to right on the point. Back and forth we go in what has been by far the most competitive set of this game so far. Hannah Nelson will check in for Evie Berg. And Audrey Rydell, you get the point, now you get to serve, and it into the net is the serve as she shakes her head in disgust. And the point to West Fargo. Audrey Rydell, kind of an up and down game so far for the freshman. One of the tallest players on the roster for Fargo North as Coach Hummel talks to her. Keep her in the game, they're gonna need her later in this set. And if Fargo North can find a way to prevail later in this game as Tollefson's kill attempt is blocked but out of bounds, and the point to Fargo North. There's just been much more of that so far in this set. Point to West Fargo, point to Fargo North. Now though, as Soliberg goes back to serve, would be the opportunity for Fargo North to get a lead late in a game. I should say set. This one goes back row. Wiakowski just puts it beautifully there for Sony to McIntosh for the kill. Off the blocker, out of bounds. Point, West Fargo. And back and forth we go, 15-14. Back to serve is Peterson. Up and deep. Nice call by Evie Berg as she watched that one travel over her head and out of bounds for the point. Carlson, home, in, home to serve. 15-15 your score in the third set. Dan Gutterson here at the Spartan Dome. You're watching your live event, EDC Girls Volleyball, between a couple of the top teams in the EDC. As Halverson, I should say, point attempt goes deep to home to Carlson, pushes it over to Peterson. Sony, she'll go middle. McIntosh just pushed it over to Evie Berg there to save it. Schultz to Carlson for the kill of the point. You know, as the Spartans take the lead, the one thing I saw there wasn't panic after the Evie Berg dig. Schultz said, I got it. Carlson said, I'll help. Point to North. They take a lead late, 16-15. Home, serve. It is deep. Zapata almost touched that with her fingertips, but decided last second to let it go. Wisely so, point Packers. McIntosh to serve, 16 apiece. The Packers 3-1 in EDC play, a full game behind. Fargo North was 4-1 in EDC play as McIntosh serve, dug out by Berg, set over by Schultz. West Fargo ready, Halverson, kill attempt blocked, but they'll go back to her. Halverson again, beautiful job to instead go for a soft kill instead of the hard kill and gets the point. West Fargo takes the lead now at 17-16. Getting late early in this third one. West Fargo looking for the sweep of the Spartans. McIntosh's serve to Berg. Dug out to Soliberg, who pushes it over. Zapata. Sony. And a left-handed kill attempt by Weary is sent back too far by Carlson. Point West Fargo. They've now gained a 2-point lead as it's 18-16. Fargo North to Carlson, who will push it deep. McIntosh, dig. Going to Halverson for the kill attempt, yes! When needed, Halverson has answered. And West Fargo with a 19-16 lead. Coach Hummel holding on to her timeouts. 19-16, West Fargo. McIntosh, serve, dug out by Berg, sent over to Nelson. Back to Carlson, whose kill attempt is blocked. And there it is, Coach Hummel calling the timeout. We will take one with her. 20-16 your score. West Fargo leads in the third set. They lead 2-0, in fact, as you're watching EDC Girls Volleyball on your live event.
starting off on some smaller projects to get me worked up to some of the bigger things built around here.
The atmosphere in the shop is very, very team-based, which is great.
It's really cool to see the beginning and end product.
So it's very satisfying to build something that you know people are really going to appreciate.
Back here at the Spartan Dome, West Fargo taking a lead late here in the third set, 20-16. It was 16-15 at one point. Fargo North had the lead, but 5 straight points by the Packers had provided them the advantage. As Carlson on the outside, her kill attempt blocked again. Weary, Sony, they'll go back to Carlson, who can't get it over the net, and the point to West Fargo, and things are not looking too bright for the Spartans, as West Fargo will now have a quick substitution as Weary will come out. Hannah Mosing, the 5'10 junior, will come on in. Boy, this would be a statement win for West Fargo. As McIntosh served, dug out by Berg. Schiltz going back to Carlson on the outside, who goes too deep. And a point for West Fargo. Again, Carlson. They've continued to go back to her time and time again. And unfortunately, she has not found the opportunity to get a side out for Fargo North, who now trails 22-16. And they need a lot of help. Berg, Schiltz, she'll go to the other side. That one, nice job by Nelson to get the point. So that's a start. Anna Nelson gets the rotation, comes on out for the freshman in Audrey Rydell, and back to serve is Evie Berg. If you were ever in a pinch, if you're Fargo North, this is the girl you want serving. Evie Berg goes deep. Zapata, dig to Wiakowski, to Halverson, who bumps it over. Back row to home. Schiltz, she'll set it up. Carlson outside into the net. Point West Fargo. 23-17 Packers. And we're going to get another substitution as Zapata is out. Ari Morris is in. The 8th grader at 5'9", taking the opportunity to get some varsity action. And this one pushed over beautifully by Rydell for the point. 23-18. Need a rally, need it now. 2 points away are the Packers from not only winning this set, but sweeping this game at 3-0. Back to serve is Schiltz, the lefty. Nice serve as it eats up Halverson. Point for the Spartans. West Fargo has used one of their timeouts in this set, so Coach Titus has another one in her back pocket. But up 4 and rally scoring, you would think she may just leave that timeout there. Schiltz, deep, Wiakowski, good job to put it towards the net. Halverson go for the point, return right into her grill, but she handles it wonderfully. Coming back, going for the kill, Evie Berg digs it out. Schiltz bumps Carlson deep and cannot get it over. Tried to go far side with that one, and a point for West Fargo. As the West Fargo student section chanting this one over as they are up 24-19. Halverson, not yet, says Fargo North. She puts that one out of bounds. 4-point rally is what is needed from Ambry Hansen, the junior, serving for Fargo North. 4-point rally to hang on to this one, and instead she sends it out of bounds. Game, set, over. West Fargo sweeps the previously undefeated Fargo North Spartans 25-23 sets to nothing. West Fargo sending a statement up and down the EDC that last year was no fluke. And don't look at our overall record, because we are here to compete and play. The Packers get the victory in this EDC matchup, 3-0. When we come back, it'll be our Tommy's Express Car Wash postgame, where we'll have both the Enbridge Energy Player of the Game and the RDK Enterprises Feature Precision Player of the Game. You're watching EDC Girls Volleyball on your live event.
My name is Jared, born and raised in Minnesota, and I'm a project director at Enbridge. Enbridge is more than a pipeline company. It's a company participating in renewable energy projects in Minnesota and abroad, and I'm really proud to be working here.
We believe a cleaner energy future is achievable. For over 20 years, we've been early adopters of renewable energy, and we're proudly committed to net zero emissions by 2050. To hear more from Jared, visit enbridge.com/Jared. That's JERRID.
Kate's Kennels, located in Castleton, North Dakota. We offer boarding for all of your furry companions. Whether you're going on vacation or you have an emergency, we are here for you. We know they are a member of your family, and we will treat them as if they were one of our own. Kennel tours are always welcome. Check us out on Facebook at Kate's Kennels or visit our website at kateskennels.com. Give us a call at 701-347-4176 for all your furry friend boarding needs.
Dan Gunderson back at the Spartan Dome. It's all over. West Fargo, the Packers, sweep the Fargo North Spartans 3-0. West Fargo came into this one with a 6-5 overall record, but that 3-1 record in EDC play. And in fact, the last 3 games hadn't lost a set. Now make it the last 4 as they move to 4-1 in EDC play with the victory, while Fargo North, previously undefeated Fargo North, falls to 11-1 overall, but more importantly 4-1 in EDC play, as your live event welcomes you to the Tommy's Express Car Wash post-game show. Tommy's Express Car Wash. Love your ride at Tommy's Express Car Wash. Sign up in the app on Google Play or in the App Store for your first month of unlimited washing, and make Tommy's Express Car Wash part of your clean routine. Tommy's Express Car Wash with 2 locations in Fargo, 1 in Moorhead. They've got the tools and the expertise to keep your car clean inside and out. That is Tommy's Express Car Wash. Did not expect this type of result coming into tonight. Did expect West Fargo to be very competitive, to give Fargo North probably their toughest test to this point in the season. But what we saw out of West Fargo, especially through those first 2 sets, was complete and utter domination. And that brings us to at least our first player of the game, and that is our energy player of the game. The energy player of the game brought to you by Enbridge, and got to give it up to the freshman, Rihanna Wiakowski, the 5'8" libero, who had a wonderful job in that first set serving specifically. Had a 10-point rally serving for the Packers. It was 1-1 early on, first set. You've got a Fargo North team brimming with confidence. West Fargo probably more of a quiet confidence, wondering, hey, we lost a lot of talent from last year's squad. We've played kind of up and down to begin the year, but we've found our footing the last 3 games. Is this for real? Or are, we still finding our footing at this point? And Wiakowski early on said, no, hey, we're for real, and we are going to be a challenge for the EDC this year. All of those points, 10 in a row for the West Fargo Packers, giving them an 11-1 lead. They would never relinquish any kind of control from that first set for the Packers, who went on to win the first set and the second set commandingly so over the Fargo North Spartans. And it really wasn't just Wiakowski and her energy from that libero position, but also the precision from the middle hitters, which brings us to our precision player of the game, which is brought to you by RDK Enterprises. And for me, that precision player of the game, really it was twofold. I think of the middle hitters. I think of Ellie McIntosh for West Fargo, and I also think Grace Weary had a really solid second and third set, I would say specifically for West Fargo. But boy, we saw Ellie McIntosh and Grace Weary do some damage from the middle. We saw them do a lot of blocking from the outside. And if I go back to that third set and think of that specifically, in that third set, one of the things that stood out to me was for Fargo North on the outside, you had Regan Carlson, who just continued to run into problems. And those double blocks from West Fargo really caused fits for the senior, who just ended up not being able to sustain any type of momentum offensively for her team and really Fargo North in general. So you got to give a lot of credit to McIntosh, the freshman, one of the freshmen on this varsity team for West Fargo, and Grace Weary, a junior. That's the other thing to remember about West Fargo is they are a young team. Only 3 seniors on the roster. Ellie McIntosh is a freshman. Viakowski is a freshman. Riley Gassetti, one of the outside hitters, a senior, but she was out for beginning half of the year with that broken nose. Grace Weary, junior, called her name quite a bit. Kira Zepeda, junior. She was coming in, but you also had Olivia Peterson from the outside, a sophomore. So West Fargo High has got a lot of talent, got a lot of young talent that we might see quite often as the years progress for this Packers squad. But tonight, for West Fargo in the 3-0 win, while we mentioned Viakowski, while we mentioned Ellie McIntosh, the young players, along with Weary, we'd be remiss if we didn't say a congratulations to Olivia Soni, who got her 2,000th career assist tonight. What an accomplishment for such a talented team, and how well that they have played and how well she has played throughout her career. And boy, if she continues to play the way that she did tonight, and with the outside hitters that West Fargo has, she is going to be probably climbing those assist stats even into the 2,225, 2,250 mark. We'll take our last break, and when we come back, we will wrap things up. Say a final thank you to our sponsors on Tommy's Express Car Wash post-game show. You're watching EDC Girls Volleyball on your live event.
Fact. High schools need every sports official they can find. Want to ensure that kids keep playing? Become an official and a leader. Over 25,000 North Dakota student athletes participate in statewide school-sponsored sports programs. Sports provide students with real-time training for real life. Teamwork and planning under pressure provide our young men and women with skills that will serve them throughout their lives. Without officials, high school sports wouldn't exist. It may be more.
Since 1981, Park Christian School has been educating the next generation of leaders in the Fargo, Moorhead, and West Fargo area. Park Christian's thoroughly Christian education and commitment to academic excellence has resulted in a confident tradition of student success. Students graduate from Park Christian School strong in their faith and well prepared for the rigors of college, career, and relationships. Call 218-236-0500 to schedule your visit or go online to parkchristianschool.org.
Welcome back to your live event. Dan Gunnarsson, Jack W. here from the Spartan Dome. A big thanks to our camera guy, Jack W. We say W because his last name is just a nightmare to try and pronounce. He's even said, just go with W. Plus, it allows for him to live in a cloud of mystery. The guy could be a superhero for all we know. So, Jack W., thank you for running the camera for your live event tonight. And a thank you to our sponsors as well. Again, would be remiss to not let them have at least, the airtime that they deserve for allowing us the opportunity to bring on these games. Of course, this postgame brought to you by Tommy's Express Car Wash. Our energy player of the game brought to you by Enbridge, which is energy for life. And you can learn more at enbridge.com for career opportunities. Your future precision player of the game, RDK Enterprises. And they wish you a safe harvest and thank you for your business. Make sure to go online to planterdoc.com for more information on RDK Enterprises. That is planterdoc.com. for more information. Thank you to those sponsors, along with our American Family Insurance for the lineup sponsorship and the First Class Mortgage for the halftime and set recap. And really to put a final bow on things from the Spartan Dome, the Fargo North Spartans came in with a lot of momentum, a lot of expectations for this Fargo North team. Through the first 11 games, they have put themselves on the state map. Third-ranked team in state behind West Fargo, Cheyenne, and Bismarck Century. 11-0 overall, 4-0 in the EDC. Had barely been touched by really any other EDC team out there outside of Fargo South. And tonight, put on notice by West Fargo, and West Fargo consequently put the rest of the EDC on notice with a complete and utter game victory over the Spartans, 3-0. West Fargo, a young team, but they are starting to find their footing as they have won now their 4th straight. They move to 4-1 in EDC play with the victory tonight. Make sure, and come ride with me on Thursday. I will be out in Tower City for a Class B Region 1 volleyball game between Enderlin and Maple River. For tonight's game, thank you to Jack W. I'm Dan Gunnarsson saying good night from the Spartan Dome, and we will see you next time on your live event.
We'll be right back.